Hello, class. So, this week for our discussion board, we were given a video to watch from PBS about the Flint River crisis, and then to come on here and talk about the different methods that they used in it. So, I see that a few people have already knew about this crisis. I've never heard about it. Maybe I live under a rock. I don't really watch the news because I don't have cable. So, but anyway, I've never heard about it, and um, I've never heard of Legionnaire's disease either. But watching this video, literally, like, I watched it yesterday and I couldn't even make our discussion board video because I was just like so in shock that something like this could happen, and literally no one was to like took the blame for it, and our government like did not care at all. They just cared about it not being their fault. Especially like the state of Michigan and the governor, who is names I would like to call that I cannot say on here. But like they did not. I The thing that like shocks me the most is they didn't care, like, at all. Who cares that people are dying and several other people are getting sick and have adverse effects that they will never be able to get rid of? The only thing they cared about was it wasn't their fault, which clearly it is. They did not, as they said throughout the whole entire hour video, over and over and over again, was that they never tested the water. They never tested the water, which just like blows my mind. Like, that the government and the people we're supposed to like supposed to trust, that they don't do the simplest thing as testing water before they let people drink it and bathe in it and breathe it in from the steam and wash their dishes in it and their clothes and use it to water plants that you may eat or vegetables and all that stuff. Like, they just didn't care at all. So, I mean, it's not a method that they use because they just didn't use one. They didn't test the water, as they said repeatedly throughout the video. Um, Now, when it came to the people trying to look in to the few people that actually cared and tried to look into it, but were stopped at every single corner, one thing they did do was take into their own hands and kind of like went behind the government's back in a way without letting them know they were doing it, was the scientists who went and um, collected all the data of the pneumonia cases, because they tried to say that only 12 people died from the disease, but in reality there was the spike of pneumonia cases, so it was so high, and a lot of times they said it's missed. If you have they'll diagnose you as a pneumonia, but really it's a Legionnaire's disease. And the spike was so high, there was probably way more than 12 cases of deaths, which is just crazy that, like I said, and like they mentioned in the thing, like, no one took the blame for it. They just kind of like ended the trial, tried to keep it all hush hush and under wraps. I definitely do not think this was broadcasted enough nationwide. Like I said, even though like I don't have cable and all of that, I mean, I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, every social media account you can think of, and I have never, not once seen it on there. And let's see, at the time, I think it was like 2017, 18, 19, I definitely was on those social media accounts and very active because I was in college. And I never once saw anything about this. And I think that was kind of the point. They wanted to keep it under wrap. and not let all these people know that they royally screwed up, and they had no remorse for it whatsoever. So, like, I still, like, even though I watched the video yesterday and took a whole day to process the whole video, like, I just can't believe it. Like, it's just crazy to me that our government did this, I guess. So, and it's crazy that they didn't even, like, even when the scientists were trying to do all this stuff, they kept stopping them, and then they wanted to try to say, oh, no, we're not, but they clearly were. I mean, if they were completely innocent in all this, they would have agreed to be interviewed for this video and not hid and denied being interviewed, because obviously they knew they were in the wrong, and they're trying to act like nothing happened. But that's all I really have to talk about this. I feel so bad for all of the people that had to go through this, all of the families who lost loved ones, and people who lost friends, people who are still dealing with the adverse effects from having this disease, and with the water. Like, I'm just still so in shock. But anyway, everyone else, I hope you have a good week, and hope you learned a lot from this week's discussion board, like me, who did not know about the Flint water crisis that happened.